I think it's true in many places of the world. That again, something's wrong. But until we understand the nature of the problem, we can't come up with a good solution. This was something I did not understand. And so when I began to realize that the fundamental nature of the money is a problem that is fundamentally flawed and corrupted, if we don't shift the monetary system, this problem's only going to get worse.
And this movement towards, we will start now, Bitcoin, or you will explain me which kind of cryptocurrencies, is within the same system but using a different kind of technology, or is also attempting to change the actual system?
No, it's a great question. And it's fundamentally changing the system of money that we have used from a centralized system that is corruptible by those who are in control of that centralized system, government, politicians, central bankers, the very wealthy who benefit from that system, the corporate interests that entwine to extract what they can. If you can eliminate that ability of them to control the money supply, it has huge ramifications.
So let's say in a similar situation, like a crisis like COVID, like you say, there would be not someone that can make more Bitcoin. That is not possible.
That is correct. That is correct. But again, if you understand the problem, and this is the hardest part, because just like I was, I thought, I thoroughly dismissed Bitcoin. I thought it was a scam. I thought it was ridiculous. I told my wife when she brought it up to me while I was still in the business, she said, what about this Bitcoin? Something's wrong here. And I'm like, if we need that, we've got a whole lot more problems. I don't buy it. So I dismissed it. So I get that entirely. And ultimately, my COVID experience, when I realized that it's not that my house price is going up, it's this money is going down, did I go, well, there's a problem with the money, so is there a better technology of money? And ultimately, better technologies win out. You can keep hold of thinking the technology of the typewriter is the best you will ever get to be able to write on, okay? And then you can throw out the idea that a PC and a word processor is a much better technology. And when you have a decentralized, permissionless, distributed system through everybody in the world that everybody can access, and these are some nuances which I understand, a lot of people don't understand, but do we want our government controlling basically the results of our work and controlling value, in essence, stealing our life force energy from us? Or do we want to try to preserve it?
In the case of a good government, probably not. In the case of the governments that we're having at the moment, surely not.
Which begs the question, show me a good government in history that even if good for a while, hasn't ultimately become rotten at its core. And I'm not saying we should live in an anarchy system. We all have reasons to share and participate with each other and to create social safety nets, to create systems where we have shared contribution to things that, infrastructure, et cetera. There can be a role for government, okay? But where do we want this pendulum to swing? As we move more towards everybody looking at the government to give them everything, we have to realize what the downside of that is.
So maybe this is a good point to bring the second question. What is Bitcoin?
So Bitcoin is simply a better technology of money. And, we are moving from an analog age, a physical age, to an age where, a digital age, where recording things, transacting, moving money, how we distribute music, etc., is so much done in a digital environment. So just as gold became cumbersome to transport 100 tons of gold across the Atlantic, all right, to buy something or to trade with, and we said paper's going to be a lot easier. So being able to transmit money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to anyone on the face of the earth with a phone, that seems like a pretty good technology.
Is it different in that regards to a bank transaction that you do from one country to another country?
It's different in that you don't have to go through a middleman, and that's the key. There's no one controlling the centralized access point that says you have to ask your bank to send money to somebody else.
So it'd be from you to me, from me
Correct.
to you. Okay.
And whenever you ask a bank or a financial intermediary for permission, they can deny the permission, say, oh, no, I'm sorry, you can't transfer it to them because you could be money laundering. I don't know, where did you get this money from? Why are you transmitting it there? And by the way, whatever your answer is, I'm going to take some of this money from you as a fee. Mm-hmm. But if you can transmit it 24/7, person to person, all over the world. Now, for those of us who live in developed countries, in Europe and in the US and much of the world, transferring money through a bank isn't that big of a deal. It's becoming a little more problematic. They're making it more and more difficult. Again, when they ask you a question of what are you doing with the money you're transferring, shouldn't that make you ask the question, well, wait a minute, if it's my money, what business is it of yours? Now, they say it's all to protect against terrorism and money laundering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a story.
Yes.
And that way they can control it.